Breaking news! Hey Browns fans, we need to talk. I have some news that's generating a lot of discussion and I need to share it with you. Before we dive in, hit that like button and subscribe so you don't miss any of the latest news about the team. Now, let's get started, because this is going to generate some debate. We all know that Kevin Stefanski and Deshaun Watson were supposed to be the perfect head coach and quarterback duo. When the Browns made that massive trade for Watson, the idea was that Stefanski's offensive brilliance would unlock his full potential, transforming Cleveland into a true contender. But let's be honest, it never worked. And according to a former Browns head coach, there's a clear reason why. Stump Mitchell, who was the Browns running backs coach from 2019 to 2023, recently gave some insight into why the Watson experiment failed in Cleveland. And it's not just the off-field controversies or even the injuries that have plagued Watson's time here. From a purely football standpoint, Mitchell believes Stefanski made a critical mistake. He changed his entire offensive system to try to fit Watson, rather than sticking with what made him successful in the first place. Mitchell explained this on the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show, saying, Kevin had success with all types of quarterbacks because he called the same system for all types of quarterbacks. The system was the same, except Deshaun. Basically, Stefanski overthought it. He had success with a variety of quarterbacks, Baker Mayfield, Jacoby Brissett, even Joe Flacco. But when Watson arrived, Stefanski dismantled his system to try to fit Watson's specific style, and that, according to Mitchell, was a major miscalculation. Let's not pretend Watson played well, he didn't. In 19 games with the Browns, he threw just 19 touchdowns to 13 interceptions, with a quarterback rating of 80.7. That's a huge drop from his time in Houston, when he looked like one of the best young quarterbacks in the league. But Mitchell suggests that Stefanski wasn't putting Watson in the best position to succeed either. Instead of running the system that worked for other quarterbacks, he tried to reinvent the wheel, and it backfired. Now the big question is, will Watson play for the Browns again? After re-injuring his Achilles, he's expected to miss most, if not all, of the 2025 season. By the time he's ready to return, the Browns may have already moved on. Let's be real, Browns fans, do we really think Watson is still the future of this franchise? So what do you think? Was this all Watson's fault, or did Stefanski make a huge mistake by changing his system? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. We all know being a Browns fan isn't easy. Since the team returned in 1999, it's been a roller coaster of disappointment, coaching changes, quarterback failures, and a whole lot of heartbreak. But even with all that history, this past season might have been one of the most painful. The Browns went from a Super Bowl contender to a 3-14 disaster. And now, things are only getting worse. The latest bombshell? Myles Garrett has reportedly requested a trade. Let that sink in. The face of the franchise, the heart and soul of the defense, could be on his way out. And if that happens, it's hard to see how the Browns bounce back from this mess. Let's take a step back. The Browns weren't always this dysfunctional under Kevin Stefanski and Andrew Berry. Since 2018, the team has made the playoffs twice, won a postseason game for the first time since 1994, and had 2 winning seasons. For a while, it looked like the Browns were finally turning the corner. Then, they took their big swing at Deshaun Watson. At the time, the move was controversial, but the front office believed they were landing a franchise quarterback. Hindsight is 20/20, and we all know how that played out. Watson never regained his Houston form, struggled with injuries, and now, after re-tearing his Achilles, his career in Cleveland is likely over. The result? A total collapse. 11 wins in 2023, just 3 in 2024. Now, the Browns own the number 2 pick in the draft instead of gearing up for a deep playoff run. And on top of that, they have no clear answer at quarterback and a frustrated superstar in Garrett who may not want to stick around. So, what now? That's the question every Browns fan wants answered. The front office can't afford to fail again. Trading Garrett would be a brutal blow, but it might be necessary to rebuild. Finding another quarterback? That's a must. And most importantly, they need to restore faith in this franchise because right now, a lot of fans are on the verge of giving up. This offseason will define Andrew Berry and Kevin Stefanski's legacy in Cleveland. Do they have what it takes to clean up this mess? Or is this the beginning of another long, painful rebuild? Let me know in the comments. There's a massive trade rumor swirling around Cleveland, and if it happens, it could shake up the Browns' entire offseason plan. The team has been linked to a potential blockbuster trade for Houston Texans star left tackle Laremy Tunsil. Yeah, you heard that right. The five-time Pro Bowler could be on the move, and some believe Cleveland should make a push to bring him in. Now, let's be real. The Browns' issues don't start and end at quarterback. Yes, they need to figure out the future under center, but there's another glaring problem that nobody is talking about enough: the offensive line. What was once a major strength for this team fell apart in 2024, and a big reason for that was injuries and aging players. So, would Tunsil be the answer? Well, on paper, he's still one of the best left tackles in the league. He's an elite pass protector, experienced, and exactly the kind of guy who could solidify the Browns' offensive line. With all the quarterback uncertainty, having a dominant left tackle could be a game changer. But here's the problem: he's expensive. Tunsil has 2 years left on his deal, and the Texans would save a significant amount of cap space by trading him. But for the Browns, his cap hit would be just under $29 million per year, which is a tough pill to swallow when this team already has financial concerns. And let's not forget, Tunsil will be 31 years old when the season starts. If Cleveland is serious about getting younger and rebuilding for the future, trading valuable draft picks for an aging star might not be the best move. Now, don't get me wrong. A couple of years ago, this would have been a no-brainer. Adding an elite tackle to a win-now roster would have made perfect sense. But with the Browns coming off a 3-14 season, is this really the right time to go all in on a veteran lineman? Personally, I think the Browns should focus on the draft. They have the number 2 overall pick and a chance to land a young, franchise cornerstone at tackle. Why trade significant assets for Tunsil when they could find their own long-term solution and build for the future? But what do you guys think? Would you be in favor of the Browns making a blockbuster trade for Laremy Tunsil, or should they go younger and build through the draft? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget, like and subscribe for more Browns updates. Go Browns!